We gotta figure out what the hell's going on here. Who ordered the construct to hide the body? Could be Redmond. He's in the illusion school. And Bellwether is acting the same. I think that's what I'm leaning toward, Redmond. That moment, several memories flooded back to me. Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words? I think she yelled at me to be quiet. She yelled at me to be quiet. Until then, we had always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got into her that day. Something put her in a foul mood. This could also be quiet. Ooh. Sorry. Be quiet. She squealed to herself. She was clearly amused by what was happening. The construct's voice is an amalgam of pre-recorded phrases. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it uses the voice of Professor Bellwether. Oh, I knew there was something wrong with it. Ha. 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 Ah. It pieces together the timeline to the meeting with the headmaster. Fortunately, you can't make them say anything other than basic responses. Only the headmaster can change those settings. Not only the headmaster can change those settings. No, was it him the entire time? What is it, Tyrion? Did you figure something out? I did. Like where this was going, with the way the pieces were laid out, there was only one explanation. He went. Earlier you said that my client could have orchestrated this entire ruse, but that's simply not true. How so? Anyone could have ordered the construct to carry the victim's body. Yes, but not everyone can change what the constructs are able to say. Only one individual has the credentials for that. Theodore Redmond, headmaster of the Imperial Academy. Oh! Wait, you're not serious, are you? Oh. I could also see an outcome where this is like an Murder on the Orient Express deal, where all the staff conspired to just fucking kill Bellwether because she was so awful. You think the headmaster did all this? I don't want to believe it, but he's the only person who could have done it. That's completely ridiculous. Headmaster Redmond is 88 years old. You could never do something like that. Steven, there's one common element between each of the witnesses' encounters with Bellwether. What Bellwether said to them. She yelled at both of them to be quiet. Miriam Frager was particularly surprised. She had a good relationship with the professor. When greeted by the professor, Bellwether just shouted at her. Almost as if the professor was responding indiscriminately. I can recall her encounter with Jan Hughes. The professor knocked over her face and shouted at him to be quiet immediately after. But he hadn't said anything. She was responding to the sound of the vase breaking. Now, let me ask you this, Steelman. Where did Bellwether come from before she encountered Miss Frager and Mr. Hughes? A meeting with the headmaster. It appears that the defense truly means to indict Theodore Redmond. So we have no choice but to take a brief recess until he can be brought here. There's no need. Fortunately for you, I was already in the gallery. Headmaster stood up at the gallery behind me and slowly made his way onto the witness stand. Had he been here the entire time? Now please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Cuthbert. But are you trying to say that I am the one who committed the crime? I'm sorry, Mr. Redmond, but no matter how I look at it, everything I've found points to you. No, there's no need to apologize. In fact, I should commend you on the lengths that you've gone to defend dear Wallace. The court appreciates your understanding, Mr. Redmond. Ooh. Now then, to clear the air, I suppose I should give my testimony on what happened that day. That day I had a meeting scheduled with the professor at noon. We showed up at the expected time and we discussed various administrative matters. The meeting went on for an hour, after which she left to prepare for her next class. Despite our many disagreements, we all still knew how to be civil to each other. After all, I had no reason to bear a personal grudge against her. Oh. A layout motive. I just can't see it. He seems like such a nice old man. Is he really the killer we're looking for? He has to be. No one else could have orchestrated this entire plot. Just need to find out how to prove it. Hold it. What was this meeting for? Oh, nothing of note. We're merely discussing her daily operations and duties within the Academy. In the Academy's office hours, it is beneficial to regularly communicate with the staff. Hold it. So she showed up at exactly 12 p.m. More or less. Catherine Bellwether was many things, but she was never tardy. There weren't any witnesses who saw her before the meeting, so she'd never way to disprove what she's saying. I needed to look elsewhere in his testimony. How long did this meeting last, Headmaster? Hold it. That means the professor left your office at 1 p.m. Yes, she was quite adamant about taking the time to prepare her lesson plans. I thought about it. Miriam had no idea what the time was when she saw Bellwether. Headmaster was lying about when the meeting ended. There'd be no way to verify it. To account for the hour gap that Steelwind mentioned. Damn it. Did Headmaster really do this? After hearing so much about her, I find that a little hard to believe. I can see why you'd say that, but despite everything, I was still her superior. She'd always remained professional when speaking to me. Is that really true, though? Really? Even after the way she's acted toward the students and faculty? Make no mistake, I've had many complaints regarding her actions. I've had many conversations with her to attempt to correct her behavior. At the end of the day, however, she was a remarkable professor, regardless of her lack of people skills. This testimony pretty much matches what we know so far. I'm not entirely sure if he's lying or not. At the very least, we know that he was involved in the professor's murder. First, I'd need to make his motive clear. Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Objection!
There we go. You've got reason. Redmond, did you really hold no animosity toward Professor Bellwether? Of course not. I did have strong opinions about how she treated the students, but I always remained professional. We both did. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. In fact, I think you might have had a very good reason to murder the professor, considering that she was going to take your job. What? So you knew about that. I'm sorry, but I don't follow. Just how was the professor going to take the headmaster's job? According to Miriam Frege, Captain Bellwether was currying favor with the school board. Smack. In fact, there was a plan to oust Mr. Redmond and appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster of the academy. What? It would go about as well as all those episodes of MASH do when Frank Burns takes charge of the camp. But in any case, I doubt that the headmaster had any idea of this until now. Remind the court of the witness's reaction just now. He said, "So you knew about that." His reaction was one of surprise, but he wasn't surprised by this information. He was surprised that I knew this information. That's... Please, dear Arya. I may be a frail old man, but I'm perfectly capable of defending myself. Oh? If you have an explanation for it, Mr. Redmond, then by all means, I'd love to hear it. Gladly. It is true that I knew about the Frege's plot beforehand, but I had only just learned about it. On the day of the murder, the professor told me about her plan. She was going to replace me as headmaster and replace the staff with her arcane constructs. Now, you might say that this would given me the perfect motive to murder the professor. However, the supposed murder weapon was stolen from Lady Frege. This happened weeks before our meeting. I had no knowledge of their plan before she told me, and therefore I wouldn't have known to steal Lady Frege's weapon in an attempt to frame her. Are you satisfied now, Mr. Cuthbert? Just only that the headmaster could come up with this plan. He really did do this, then that means he stole the rapier too, right? Most likely. His ally makes sense. He couldn't have planned this whole thing unless he knew about Bellwether's plans. That would mean he knew about this weeks ago. How did he even find out? The best way to tell of convincing lies is to leave a lot of truth and only change one detail. Yep. Maybe Bellwether did tell him, but she actually told him weeks ago. How would I prove that? Call Jan to testify? Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. So you only learned about it recently. Doesn't that seem a bit too convenient for you? It may appear that way, yes. But that must have infuriated you. Your colleague betrayed you and attempted to steal your job. I'm only human. Of course I was taken aback. I've been headmaster of the Imperial Academy for nearly 60 years. I think that the professor and the board would go around my back like that. With the professor dead, you won't have to worry about losing your job, unless you kill her. At least not for a while. I suppose you're correct, but there are others who benefit too. Faculty staff is now aware of the Frega's plot. With her plot delayed, they won't need to worry about abruptly losing their jobs either. What would happen if I proved that Redmond was the killer? I'd be sent to prison, and the school board would just appoint someone else to carry out their plan. No, I couldn't think about that now. I couldn't prove Redmond's guilt, that the court would convict Wallace. That's a sticking point we'll have to resolve at some point here. As a headmaster, you'd probably have the tools available to get into her room. Yes, I will admit that. The Academy has a master key that can be used to enter each of the students' dorms. And you had the perfect way to get into her room and steal the rapier undetected. Suppose I did. However, there's one flaw with your logic. It's my understanding that the school board wanted to keep this a secret until the very end. Why would Bellwether of all people tell you about her betrayal? Imagine she wanted to taunt me with this information. We've long had our disagreements, and looking back, she may have resented me for that. At that point, there wasn't anything I could do to stop her. Really? I thought you and the professor were on good terms. I thought so too, but I suppose it was all a facade. She was just biding her time until she could take my position as headmaster. He's the one behind this. He had to have known about Bellwether's betrayal weeks ago. Right, the question is, how do we prove it?
Objection!
False. Your Honor, it's clear that the witness's testimony is contradictory. This piece of evidence proves it. I fail to see how that proves anything, Mr. Cuthbert. Oh, I guess you're right.
Objection!
False.
Objection!
Okay, third time's a charm. Redmond, you keep saying that you don't know about Bellwether's plot before yesterday. You still plan on standing behind that claim? Of course I am. It's the truth. I'm sorry, Redmond, but you should really close your doors during your meetings. What? Got him. It's true that Bellwether revealed her plan to you during one of your meetings. In fact, Jan Hughes happened to overhear that same meeting. You only overheard the part where the staff would be replaced. That's not the strangest part, Redmond. According to Mr. Hughes, that meeting occurred weeks ago. You could accuse the headmaster of perjury based on a rumor. Everything you just said is based on second-hand information. Mr. Hughes distinctly overheard that the staff would be replaced with arcana constructs. That is too specific and too accurate to assume that he misheard. The professor must have only revealed her plan for the arcane constructs. That still doesn't prove that he knew that about her treachery beforehand. Professor Bellwether had no authority over the cleaning staff's employment. It wouldn't make sense for her to just reveal her plan for the arcane constructs. That would only make sense if he knew that Bellwether was taking his job. So tell me one thing, Redmond. Why'd you find the need to lie about this? It's because you saw a need to establish an alibi. Redmond, I'm only going to ask you one more time. Did you murder Catherine Bellwether? Peter Redmond had done something truly terrible. The school board rejected my proposed staffing budget. We won't be able to hire more custodians. Of course they rejected it. Our current janitor simply needs to stop lazing about. And you wouldn't have to spend all of your free time helping him. How did you... Is that how they found out? Did you tell them? I did. Why? I do after school hours. It's none of your concern. It becomes my concern with the headmaster of my academy debases himself in such a manner. You were mopping floors alongside him like a common servant. Have you no shame? What else was I supposed to do? You can't possibly expect one man to keep an entire school clean. He was as clearly capable. The academy is spotless despite his lounging about. Only because he's working during every waking hour. He barely has enough time to sleep. Please. I've caught him napping on the job more times than I can count. Honestly, you coddle these animals far too much. Professor Bellwether, I've called you here to discuss your treatment of certain students. This again. Do you remember Gillian Fletcher? He was part of your advanced illusion track. I remember failing him. His performance during the final exam was laughable. They found his body at the lake last night. I'd always warned you that something like this might happen. I understand you feel that you have your responsibility to the kingdom, but our students are still human beings. I fail to see how any of this is my responsibility. Professor, surely even you must understand. No, I think it is you who fails to understand. You may have been amazed, but you could never walk the path that the Scaled Lords chosen with such a plebeian constitution. What do you think would happen? The real act of cruelty was placing that layabout next to our kingdom's best and brightest. What do you think would happen to trash when they're faced with their betters? You never allowed him the opportunity to succeed. I don't think I'm blind to what's been happening. I've received several reports that you've been harassing the students admitted through the scholarship program. Then take those reports to the school board, Redmond. If these urchins fall apart of the tiniest bit of criticism, then they have no place here. They can't handle it, Redmond. It's that simple. Maybe this incident will finally make you see reason. You. What did I do? How do I stop her? It's only a matter of time before the school board names her as the new headmaster. With that, I won't be able to protect anyone from her. I'll be powerless. That's not how I see it. What? You're clinging to shadows, Redmond. Titles, influence, reputation. They're all just illusions. Strip those away, and you're Bellwether's equal. If only it truly worked like that. Reality is far more complicated than that. Is it, though? Her friends in the school board can't pump blood through her veins. Those nobles she dotes on can't draw breath into her lungs. All are equal in death. The survivors are the ones who determine what will be. It doesn't matter if you're a commoner, a noble, or the Scaled Lord himself. What are you saying? You should fight for what you believe in. Do whatever it takes to create the universe you want. Theodore Redmond had done something truly terrible. He had truly despised Catherine Bellwether with all his heart. In his mind, this world was a better place without her in it. The sound of that rapier piercing her heart had been echoing endlessly within his head. It was as if her ghost was floating over his shoulder, torturing him by repeating her last anguished gasps. It made his stomach churn. He took no pleasure in taking her life, and his soul felt forever scarred from what he's done. You've already come this far, haven't you? I have already come this far. Oh, I'm not done. Not yet. Just what a fine mess this is. Headmaster? So you truly plan on pushing this, do you? Won't let anyone stop me from getting justice for Wallace. Well, your thesis sounds promising, Mr. Cuthbert, but I believe your arguments could use little work. Ooh, okay, let's go. You think I killed Captain Bellwether? Me? I am an elderly man in his late 80s. I can barely walk, much less wheel repair. You have control over the arcane constructs, though. But you and Bellwether weren't the only people in that room, weren't you? You needed the arcane construct to carry Bellwether's body. means that the construct would have already been in your office. With your privileges, you could have easily programmed the construct to stab Bellwether for you. Even so, think about what would have transpired afterwards. Do you recall Miss Steelwind's timeline of Bellwether's witnesses? With your theory, the construct would have spent more than an hour in the library. Having it there would have risked my so-called ruse from being discovered. The timing deduced from Miss Frega's testimony is predicated on one thing. You saw Miss Bellwether exit your office after their meeting. However, if we assume that you're lying about when this meeting ended, your entire argument falls short. Miss Frega would have encountered Bellwether after her death at 2:01 p.m. Miss Frega wouldn't have made a mistake like that. Miss Frega thought it was morning when she saw Bellwether. She can't reliably tell the time. Aha! What about where the rapier was placed? If I really was the murderer, then that would mean I planted the weapon in a young Wallace's locker. Several of the students had lockers that I had access to. Nameplates were swapped, but how can you prove that? Wallace is one of my prized students. If I had to frame anyone, he would be the last person I chose. Yep, there. You're right, Mr. Edmund. You wouldn't try to frame Wallace, but you would try to frame Miriam Frega. Oh, he's so screwed now. Would have been the perfect act of revenge, wouldn't it? Murder your treacherous co-worker and frame the daughter of the family that helped her. If Miriam had been implicated, the Inquisition would have immediately swept Bellwether's murder under the rug. Oh, and then he forged all of the whatchamacallits, academic dishonesty evidence. Something went wrong, didn't it, Redmond? The labels on Wallace's locker and Miriam's locker were switched. Anyone who saw that would have easily mixed them up. I am the headmaster of the Imperial Academy. I have records of all the students' lockers and where they are located. If I truly planned this, I would have known where Wallace's locker was. Simple change in labels wouldn't have led me to make a careless mistake like that. But the construct would. False. He would have noticed the locker IDs were switched, but they'll basically something that he was the person planning to repair. Construct again? It wasn't you, was it? Your arcane construct was the one who planted the rapier in the locker. But you commanded it to place this rapier in the locker of Miriam Frega. It saw the ID number on Wallace's locker and assumed that it was Miriam's. This is... Raven was desperately stammering. Miss Steelwind, say something. What? Mr. Cuthbert, your theory may be plausible, but there's no evidence to support it. That's right. You don't have any proof, do you? Saying that I could have committed the murder isn't the same as proving I did it. False. And so track the orders given to him. Alright, how do we get there? The arcane construct is still in the locker room where I planted the repair. All we have to do is take a look inside it and we'll see the blood inside. Is that so, Mr. Cuthbert? What? Why do you still look so confident? No, Mr. Cuthbert, I already checked the inside of that construct during my investigation. The interior was completely clean. What? Construct's primary function is to assist and clean, dear Tyrion. They have a function that allows them to clean themselves inside and out. That still wouldn't erase the magical traces. Healing spells may leave traces of necromancy, but so would a healing potion. No evidence of blood, there could be a myriad of reasons why those traces are there. Well, you can still look at its command history, right? Think about it, Mr. Cuthbert. Do you honestly think that the murderer would leave behind evidence like that? Or that whoever orchestrated this plot, they ordered the construct to wipe its logs when it was finished? No. That's right, Mr. Cuthbert. Your case against me is theoretical at best. I suppose I can still give you marks for trying. I thought of everything. Did they get rid of all the evidence? I was running out of options. I still had one option left. Ah, I'm becoming the glare like that, young Tyrion. He's doing it again. I need to bring myself back to that moment with Garrick Pierce. Everything was at stake for Wallace in this trial. He endured the collective hatred of everyone who didn't understand what he was doing. He stayed true to his ideals, no matter how much it harmed him. He studied necromancy, all for the betterment of mankind. His life and his future were in my hands, and I would not see his potential destroyed.
Naught can remain concealed.
I activated the empowered eye again. Redmond did a good job of covering his tracks, but there was no such thing as the perfect crime. That'd be something that he forgot to get rid of. What am I thinking of this now? Construct's actions. Did everything I could to cast doubt on Vegas brat. The Valve placed a trace of necromancy on the body. Make matters worse, the construct placed the evidence in the wrong locker. So he did send the construct to the locker room to plant the evidence. Must have also fabricated the documents that accused Miriam of cheating. It's all to make her look like the murderer. This doesn't give me anything new to work with. Keeping up with this myself in this mess for Bellwether of all people. Why do I feel remorse for her? She deserved what happened to her. His orders were clear. Plant the body hall in lecture hall 2B. Let the evidence in Vegas' locker. I was supposed to head to the storage room afterwards. What happened? Storage room? Interesting, the contract wasn't supposed to be in the locker room? No, of all people. What is this? Wonder. Not even any other pieces of evidence behind. It's far too reckless. I need some way to keep that lecture hall empty. Oh right, Mr. Botts did alchemy experiment on purpose to keep the lecture hall clear. That didn't really give me anything I could use right now. I was just thinking to myself, the staff. No other would have thrown them out on the street if not for what I did. I do everything I could to shift guilt away from myself. I leave any holes in my alibi. No, I accounted for everything. There's no possible way I left any evidence behind. Just got to the locker room. It shouldn't have been there if it had followed my orders. Matter had wiped its logs. That's all that matters. They have nothing. He'd order it to wipe its logs. In order to cover all its tracks, it probably would have done that last. Wait, he ordered the construct to go to the storage room? Should have done that after it was finished planting the evidence in the locker room. He found it in the locker room. Clearly didn't intend for this construct to end up in the locker room. Someone or something must have interfered with it. What happened? A lockdown. Right, the body was probably reported earlier than Redmond had expected. I bet he probably started the lockdown while the construct was still in the locker room. Alright, we're getting there. Does this change anything? Series of command was Right. That random draw gave me like 75% that answer. Right, the series of commands would have been interrupted. Wait a minute. When constructs execute a series of commands in the order they are given, let's say one of these tasks is impossible to complete. When the construct gets to that task, it will deem the entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether. So if a task in a series of commands is impossible, that command will interrupt the entire series. If Redmond was trying to cover his tracks, then the construct's final command would be to wipe its memory. Its orders were interrupted by the lockdown, then. Mr. Steelwind, I have nothing more to ask this witness. What? You're not giving up, are you? Yeah, I thought so, but how are you going to prove he did it if he's not on the stand? Don't worry. Are you going to call the construct to the stand? The next witness's testimony will be all I need. Next witness? That look on your face isn't one of resignation. Oh, we're having our Phoenix. We're having our parrot known in case 2. Nothing but desperate bravado. Now, if you'll excuse me. You've let me get away, Mr. Cuthbert. I hope you know what you're doing. I do, Steelwind. First, I'd like for the Inquisition to bring in the Arcane construct in the Academy's locker room. We've already established that the murder could have wiped its memory. Please, just humor me for a second. Fine. Bailiff, please relay Mr. Cuthbert's request to Commander White. Hello. Well, here's your construct. I hope you know what you're doing, Mr. Cuthbert. Please state your name and occupation. Construct. What are your orders? Please recite your command history. Reporting. Command 1, stand by in Headmaster's office. Command 2, await vocal signal attack from Theodore Redmond. Redmond stood over the gallery, his face turning from confusion into terrified realization. Steelwind watched him carefully, clutching the handle of her cane. Command 3, treat Catherine Bellwether as a hostile entity and neutralize. Construct, wipe your... Oh! Before he could finish his order, the prosecutor whipped out her cane and pointed it square at the headmaster. The headmaster tensed his body tightened and he fell over, restrained by magical energy. He struggled against the spell to no avail. You could watch through gritted teeth as the construct continued. Steelwind! Excuse the interruption. Please continue. Command 4. Await vocal signal leave from Theodore Redmond. Command 5. Move to classroom 2B. Reply to any inquiries with voice line number 3. Command 6. Remove Catherine Bellwether from interior frame and place on floor. Thank you, Construct. You can stop now. I think we all know the rest. Just to be clear, who gave you this series of commands? Commands were provided by Headmaster Theodore Redmond. Dang, that thing's big. How? How? I ordered the Construct to wipe his command history. Redmond, constructs don't follow the same logic that humans do. They're prone to error when their commands are impossible to execute. Impossible? How are my commands impossible? For the record, to not betray this knowledge, Tyrion should have let the construct continue to the end. You were the one that made it impossible. You activated the lockdown system. Because, like, this next bit would have made a lot more outward sense if he had let the construct say, place move to locker room, place, appear in Miriam Vegas' locker, move to storage room, wipe memory. Imagine you never expected anyone to go to lecture hall 2B. But the Eris twins discovered the body earlier than you expected. You had no choice but to immediately activate the lockdown system when it was reported. It would have been suspicious otherwise. However, the construct was still in the locker room when you did this. That's why it was there. The construct finished its task in the locker room, but then it tried to follow your next command. had been moved to the storage room but was prevented from doing so. Completion of that command was impossible, so the series of commands was stopped before it wiped its history. No. Theodore Redmond, you ordered your construct to murder Catherine Bellwether, and you had it place the murder weapon in the locker room to frame Miriam Frege. And we have your construct's testimony to prove it. That's your last move, Redmond. That's checkmate. Fucking finger point with the glowing eyes. Rocks hard. I can't believe it. How could you do something like this, Headmaster? Oh. She was going to take everything from me. My position, my academy, my students. Everything could be gone. It's going to be stolen from me by her and the Freges. Didn't you say anything? I could have... Dare stand there and act ignorant, Lady Steelwind. Do you think the Freges acted alone? The Grand General was also on the school board, and he endorsed this plan just as much as they did. What? I have nothing to say to you. I thought you were different. I listened to you and the Prince's lies about societal reform. Ooh. In the end, you were just like the rest of them. Scared Lord, what have I done? I was even willing to sacrifice poor Wallace. Why did I ever listen? Why did I do this? Oh, ho, ho, ho. My daughter who's haunting the meta-narrative. She is watching. Appears we have a full confession. What sees no reason to prolong this any further. Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell. Oh, if she's doing this devil's advocate thing, that's going to be really interesting. Mr. Cuthbert, you really did it. It feels amazing, right? Like a big weight being lifted from your shoulders. It does, but Headmaster Redmond, what am I going to do now? Headmaster Redmond was the only reason I could even attend the academy. If the school board replaces him with someone like Bellwether, come on, don't think like that. You've been acquitted. You still have your freedom. I wanted to agree, but the study of necromancy was outlawed. Without Redmond's support, there weren't many places he could learn it. Then there was the staff at the Imperial Academy. Hey, not you too! Sorry, Valentina, Valerie, and Jan, they're all going to lose their jobs. Come on, you found the truth and you put a murderer behind bars. You saved Wallace. She's right. Hi, Ruby. As we exit the courtroom, we are greeted by Miss Tamora. At the end of the day, you saved Wallace from a wrongful conviction. You did what you set out to do. You should be proud of yourself for that. Just wish I could do more. Nope, none of that. I'm taking all of us to that restaurant we went to last time. Do you remember how much the place cost? Don't worry, I have plenty of gold. Am I the only one on this team not making any money? Why don't you meet us there, Celeste? I need to talk with Tyrion for a moment. Alright, let's go, Wallace. Okay. You used that ability again, didn't you? She didn't appear to be praising me. I did. I didn't really have a choice. The Eye of Horus is a powerful tool, Tyrion. But that's twice now that you've used that ability to get out of a tough spot. You can't keep relying on it if you want to grow. One day you'll find a witness that it won't work on. It's worked for me thus far, though. But I suppose you're right. I'll try to rely on it less next time. And that marked the end of another case in my career as a defense attorney. Another life saved. Another murderer brought to justice. I still couldn't shake this feeling of uneasiness. Is it guilt for what happened to the faculty staff? Or is it something else? I can't believe it. It really was Theodore this entire time. Can we talk about something else? Thinking about all that is really bumming me out. I hope I'm not interrupting. Oh, great. What do you want? Always trying to act with more compassion than my fellow aristocrats. I suppose I'm still blind to the privilege that I was born with. I'm truly sorry if my words during the trial were insensitive to your circumstances. I've been speaking with the students here. There's quite a bit of outrage about your firing. Wait, really? The idea of a machine doing your job doesn't seem to sit well with the student body. The kids might be okay? Well, not everyone was as sympathetic as I'd hoped. Most everyone agrees that your leaving would be a tremendous loss. I've spoken with the head of the student council. We believe that we can convince the school board to keep you on staff. You can do that? Is that what you want, Valentina? I don't see the working conditions here improving without Redmond as headmaster. Well, we've got to make a living somehow. There's actually a merchant out in Aranax who takes an interest in people like you and your sister. He's recently purchased a condemned building in the city, and he's looking to turn it into a restaurant. Remember how delicious your meals were when I was a student here? I'm certain he would hire you if I asked. Oh, really? Would you be interested in that? It's a bit of a gamble, but your employment wouldn't be left to the whims of the nobility. Of course! Good. I'll contact him later today. You'll probably be hearing from him soon. Not so bad for a noble. I don't know if I buy it. You've heard about what her dad's been doing, right? Don't be so pessimistic. She seems nice. I'm kind of with Valentina on this one. Emma's always been up with the steel winds. Remember that scandal all those years ago? No, actually, what happened? Right. You two were probably just kids when it all went down, but it was big news at the time. That girl's mom went on a rampage and massacred a village full of farmers. Her mom? Children included. Scale Lord. Lucio Steelwind's violent streak didn't start with these rebellions. I think they had a bad marriage or something. He couldn't wait to get rid of her. But what she did, he personally prosecuted her, demanded a death sentence, even carried out the execution himself. He really is a monster, isn't he? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd trust anyone raised by a guy like that. See? There's always something up with the aristocrats. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not getting my hopes up until I hear from this merchant from Aranax. But hey, if I do get that restaurant, we'll need someone to help. Someone to help us keep it clean. You interested, Jam? In one small restaurant instead of an entire school? I'm falling asleep just thinking about it. Okay, just make sure you still do your job, okay? Oh, someone's listening. My girl. Man, Steven's into keeping the old-timer here for hours. What's there to even ask at this point? Turns out, she doesn't trust his testimony. Something about his memories not matching up with the crime scene. I mean, he is pretty old. Yeah, well, she found him at that damn symbol. Found that damn symbol etched into his desk. What'd she call it? The purple mark. Oh? Oh, for the love of... Not this again. Look, that little lady wants to chase the boogeyman, just let her. At least this time she's doing it personally instead of dragging us into it. Oh, the magic that... We heard about that briefly from Morum last time, didn't we? Forbidden magic that can, like, possess people. Cast sleep. Ah! Hey! What's up with... Oh! Hey. Wait a minute. Remember it now. But how? That was close. My elation over meeting him almost made me forget. Eris, what are you doing here? Why? Wait. It was you. You put those ideas into my mind. You're the one who told me to murder Bellwether. Oh, you people never fail to amuse me. Your eyes glowing, I didn't make you do anything. Everything you did that day, all the planning, all the preparation, that came from your own mind. I have to say, I was quite entertained with the scheme you came up with. You even broke into Lady Frega's room. Never thought that you were capable of such things, young Theodore. Such a shame, though. Young Theodore? I wished I could have gotten Wallace to play the villain instead of you. Could you imagine if he turned? Armies of the undead, running rampant in the streets. It would have been spectacular. Alas, even I couldn't corrupt him. He falters in every other situation. When it comes to necromancy, his will is adamantine. That's me. Who are you? What are you? Who am I? Oh, I'm the ruler of the Sixth Circle, the Lord of Shadows. Ah! Oh, you terrify me. I'm excited. Frey? Oh. I'm sorry, Tyrion. There's so much I wanted to tell you. Much that I wanted to show you. I'm afraid I was never meant to walk this path with you. The world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. To extinguish the flickering flame I can see within you. Use my eyes. You're beyond the divine gate just as I once did. Just to build your own path to happiness. Oh, Origins of Horus. Preposterous. Completely and utterly preposterous. Oh no. Is something wrong, Von Sanctus? You filthy rat. You cheated, didn't you? That's it, isn't it? You're just a cheat, a charlatan. Hello, Lloyd. We've seen you before. Have a children play chess better than him? Do you have any evidence to prove that claim? I mastered chess before you could crawl out of whatever rat hole you were born in. You honestly expect anyone to believe that you could defeat me? Honestly, I'm just as disappointed as you are. I expected more from a duke, but I guess all the gold in the world can't buy you a modicum of skill. You little upstart! I'll... Ahem. Von Sanctus' attendants silently tilted his head toward the spectators of the tournament. The crowd had fallen silent, save for a few aristocrats who were muttering amongst themselves. Some were even chuckling at the spectacle. Absolutely preposterous. He repeated it like a prayer as he stomped away from the tournament grounds. So, that was something. Did you have to be such a sore winner? Come on, that was hilarious. Embarrassing nobles like him is half the fun of these tournaments. Where's this confidence when you're in the courtroom? Stephen is far less of a pushover. I wonder if she plays chess. Now there was an interesting thought. I'm going to challenge her next time we go out. You two have been really spending a lot of time together lately. What? Are you jealous? She never expected you to get along so well with a noble. I mean, you've talked to her. She's not like most of those stuck-up heiresses. She really takes her job seriously, maybe even more than you do. Just be careful around her. You've seen what the papers have been saying about her father. Hey, she's nothing like her father. Don't say things like that when she's around. Does he ever come up when you talk to each other? Nope. You better not bring him up next time we see her. He seemed oddly protective of the prosecutor. It was probably fine. Despite our differences, Steelwood was oddly fair when we were in the courtroom. Let's spend most of her time protecting me. I was glad she had found someone she could spend her days with. Anyways, we should celebrate. There's a pushover, but you just beat a duke? We went to that restaurant in Rathholm? What are you talking about? There are plenty of places we haven't tried before. And we returned to Oranax with the chance to finally defeat the head of a pillar family. They wanted to leave, especially before anyone in town recognized the return to Oranax. Ooh. Remember that cafe we passed on the way to the tournament grounds? Just grab some lunch there. I wanted to object, but she had this way of making it impossible to say no to her. I mean, look at that smile. Alright, guess there's no harm in staying a little longer. So you're from Oranax. Dark roasts and light magic. We traced our steps back to the cafe. Entered when he was struck by the powerful aroma of freshly baked pastries and coffee. The scent of bread and butter swirled around me, slowly washing away my reluctance to come here. So, you dare to enter the domain of the alabaster siren. Whether you were seeking glory or oblivion, it's found you all the same. Oh, I love you. You stand before Mosorika Tudor, the Ashen Lord of Oranax. My childhood friend appeared before us, her posture firm and over the top as always. Mosorika was much older than when I'd last seen her, but I could recognize that theatrical cadence anywhere. She clearly hadn't lost her flair for the dramatic. Her cloak somehow billowed with every exaggerated pose she snapped to. Tyrion, your childhood friend is a chuny. My dramatic childhood friend, she's a commoner who was born a mage. Through Drakengen's patronage, she was able to open up her own restaurant like she's always dreamed about. I should have done more to keep in contact with her after I left. I'll have you know that my confections are not for the faint of... Rose up. She recognized me immediately. Tyrion? I winced as I rubbed the back of my neck. Hi, Rika. I knew it! It is you! You have an idea how worried we've all been? Do you two know each other? Right, sorry. Mosorika, this is my bodyguard, Celeste. Celeste, this is Mosorika. We kinda grew up together. She's actually a commoner mate just like you. You used to live here? But you were in such a rush to leave. You came here to eat, right? Maybe bring you some of our best dishes on the house. No, we couldn't possibly. Don't be like that. It's been years since I've seen you, and you know how good my cooking is. Okay, but only for a little bit. Also, a bit of a warning, Celeste is kind of a glutton. Her stomach is basically bottomless. Hey! Oh, I'll accept that challenge. Rika set a table for the three of us before calling over a waiter. They ordered the eggs Benedict, and Rika ordered the French toast. Celeste ordered the omelet, ham skillet, shaved steak, breakfast wraps, stack of pancakes, stacked waffles, chocolate crepe, and the avocado toast because she wanted something light. Well, we were warned. I am so sorry, Rika. I'll pay for her food. This is nothing. My cafe has dealt with far greater foes than this. Can I also get the eggs Benedict and French toast? Their food smells great. I'll pay for her. Thank you. Oh my gosh. A gem with strange carvings is cursed. It's an attorney's runestone. It proves that I'm a certified attorney. It's fitted with artificery. I can use it to take pictures of evidence at crime scenes. I want one. You have to be an attorney to receive one. Tyrion, people use runestones for things other than practicing law. That scary lady. She's your mother now? She's my guardian, yeah. Is she nice? Nice isn't the first word I'd use to describe Miss Demore, but she's always taking care of me. Probably everything I know about being a defense attorney. I think I'd be the person I am today without her. Oh, that's good. I'm just glad that she treats you well. What do you think? Something like that speaks for itself. That's words she has nothing to say about it. Sorry, I just love her. You've really made a life for yourself here. I'm glad that you're able to realize your dreams and open a cafe. But of course, once the Dark Lord sets her sights on the quarry, only a matter of time before she obtains it. I've grown up since you last saw me. Yeah, let's not go that far. What's that supposed to mean?
Repario Arcanum.
We seem to have decorated the entire cafe with several plants and flowers. The green added a fresh and earthy look to the restaurant. Shelf full of drinks, mugs, and the sugar behind the restaurant counter. Must have been where Rika's employees prepared coffee to be served. This table looks really well made. You like it? I commissioned a local carpenter to have my tables custom made. It was probably worth it. They fit with the rustic vibe you're going for here. Some kind of tarot card. The customer must have accidentally left it here. The magician. The magician. The magician is associated with the power of transformation and manifestation. And it's in the upright position. It's associated with the resourcefulness to harness one's inner potential. It often symbolizes a person who possesses great skill, creativity, and mastery over their craft. Never knew you knew about these things. Ha! Of course I do. The power of the magician is the power to shape reality through the power of will. Doesn't that remind you of someone? No, not really. Hey! Anything else worthwhile here? No. A bit of time. Your bodyguard really eats a lot. Celeste looked up from her plate, making eye contact with the two of us. We paused for a moment before going back to her meals. She's really good at her job. She's been burning all those calories somehow. I heard you've been fighting the nobility. Is that why you need her? You know about that? The papers won't stop talking about you. I couldn't believe it when I saw your picture in the Oranax post after all these years. I'm sorry. I'm just glad you're safe, Tyrion. Look at you. I never expected the Lightsworn Monarch to start wearing a suit. What's this Lightsworn Monarch I keep hearing about? It's something I used to call myself when I was a kid. She's the Dark Lord. You were the Lightsworn Monarch. Wait, really? That's adorable. You were both Junie when you were growing up. It pales in comparison to the Ashen Lord of Aranax. Just as I'd expect from my apprentice, you're practically famous now. Not even the headmaster of the Imperial Academy could stand against you. I winced at being reminded about Redmond. I still didn't feel great about what happened. What's wrong? Theodore Redmond wasn't a bad person, he just made a really terrible mistake. I'm not happy about indicting him. Oh. And yeah, the person he killed was kind of bad news bears herself, so... You're the owner of this cafe, Rika? I always dreamed of opening one up when we were kids. The source of my strength is the everlasting financial support of the Dracogen Trading Company. Its owner was rendered powerless when he tried the confections. He had no choice but to fund my warpath. Dracogen Trading Company? I don't think I've heard of them. They're pretty small. They're only operating in Aranax right now. But I hear that they're planning to expand their operations throughout Wyvengard. I'm surprised the Duke of Commerce is letting that slide. Isn't he the guy you beat in a chess tournament this morning? Wait, that was you? House von Sanctus is one of the 4 pillar families. They manage mercantile operations throughout Wyverngard. So House Steelwind controls the military, House von Sanctus controls the business, House Frege controls the money and the exchange of currency, and House Sybil controls the judicial and legislative branches of our kingdom. Is it just me? Or does the city look a lot cleaner than before? Oh, right. You left before all those new merchants appeared. New merchants? They came from a merchant's guild? Not exactly. The Dragongen Trading Company was one of the first merchants that came. They brought some of the Arcane manufacturers a few years ago. They transformed it into the heart of artificery production within Aranax. Other merchants felt the way of the wind and followed them here. Being based in a port city would definitely give them an edge. And Aranax is one of the few trading hubs that sends and receives exports from the other kingdoms. Just looked at her, surprised. Hey, I'm a businesswoman. I know about economics. Their presence lit a flame in the city's economy. They aren't owned by the nobility, and they pay their employees a lot more than von Sanctus does. It's really opened a lot of more opportunities for the people here. I doubt the Duke appreciates the competition, though. They've been talking about forming employee-run Ooh. Oh, the Duke definitely won't appreciate that. So, you still play chess? Yeah, I'm nationally ranked, too. Got some upstart commoner defeated von Sanctus at a tournament this morning. I should have known it was the Lightsworn Monarch. Upstart commoner? Lightsworn Monarch? Hey, you do that thing when you play? No. What thing? Nothing. He's not talking about anything. Wait, you're actually embarrassed about it? When you were kids, you did it even more than I did. What? What did you used to do? Why don't you show her, Tyrion? I refuse. Come on, show us, Tyrion. Do the thing. I think I'm a little too old for this. Do the thing, Tyrion. I am insulted that you think age has anything to do with it. You defeat it, Tyrion, lest your radiant light be smothered into a flickering ember. Do it, Tyrion. Yeah, do it, Tyrion. Two of them began chanting, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, drawing the attention of the other patrons in the cafe. Taking a deep breath. Those who stand in the shadows, those who fear the light's infinity, your Imperials will fall, and your armies will perish. Kneel and cower for the divine gaze of the Eye of Horus. I am Tyrion Cuthbert, Emperor of Light, and sworn enemy of darkness itself. That's why you call it the Eye of Horus. They were trying really hard to contain their laughter. Well, that's why I don't do it anymore. No, that was great. It was really cool, Tyrion. Her poorly contained laughs puffed out between each word. And why are you laughing? You were just doing it a moment ago. Yeah, but she owns it. You used to say something else. What was it? Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter who stands in my way. Man, king, or god? Yeah, that's it. He still says that sometimes. Well, it's been nice catching up with you, Rika. I think it's time for us to get going. What? But we just got here. Let you go this time, Lightsworn Monarch. By partaking of the food within my realm, you fall under its curse. Curse? We're now bound to my domain for eternity. But I'm a benevolent lord. Your only charge as my servant is to write me at least once a fortnight. How long is a fortnight again? 2 weeks? I'll stay in touch, Rika. You'd better. Don't just disappear like last time. Aww. Left the cafe and made her way to the local merchants guild to rent a carriage. The city streets seemed a bit more crowded than before. Must have been some kind of event going on. Hey, Tyrion? Yeah? She fidgeted with her hands and seemed unable to make eye contact with me. She looked like she wanted to say something, but she couldn't find the right words. Never mind, it's nothing. Okay? Made our way to the merchants guild in silence. Each step we found the streets becoming more and more crowded. They hoped that this traffic wouldn't interfere with the ride home. Hi. Could we rent a carriage for travel to Rathholm? Sorry. Travel outside the city is temporarily closed. What? Why? Haven't you heard? Steelwind soldiers have locked down the city. It's up a blockade and everything. Chill right up my spine. What are you talking about? The city gates if you don't believe me. Right, we arrived at the city gates. The man said there was a division of knights blockading the exit to the city. There was an entire legion of them. Their flags bore the colors of the King's Guard. What are they doing here? The King's Guard was a military force that responded to matters of national importance. They worked directly under Grand General Steelwind. Townsfolk kept their distance, but several aristocrats were making their objections known. This is outrageous. How long do you plan on keeping us here? Sorry, but we have our orders. Can't let anyone outside the city until our investigation is complete. An investigation? We should keep our distance. I wouldn't want to. Oh, screw that. Before I knew what was going on, Celeste marched toward the knight that was stationed there. Wait, Celeste! Please tell us what's going on. Why is the entire city being blockaded? Sorry, ma'am. We're not allowed to release that information. Just have to make other arrangements while we sort this out. Actually, I haven't seen you two around before. We should take down your names and occupations for our records. What? Why? It's fine, Celeste. I'm better off just cooperating with them. We need to avoid any kind of conflict with them. I'm Tyrion Cuthbert. I'm a defense attorney. Ah, fine. I'm Celeste McCoy, bodyguard. Oh. So they recognized us. Reputation did more harm than good most of the time. Looked over the other knights. They seem to be taking notes of the people here, too. They seem to be compiling a list of everyone inside the city. But for what? Huh. I have an important engagement tomorrow. What am I supposed to do now? This can't possibly be legal. The Minister of Justice will be hearing about this. Nobles continued shouting at the knights. It was clear they wouldn't be budging anytime soon. As soon as the knights were finished speaking to us, I quickly backed away. Celeste followed closely behind me. Tyrion, wait! I said that, but it took very little effort for her to keep pace with me. My breathing was getting faster and my head was aching. Scale Lord, it's happening here. What? Exactly like what's been happening in the countryside. Lucio Steelwind sent his men to keep the peace here. Oh, that's why you're so freaked out. How are you so calm right now? I'd probably win if they tried to attack us. Well, I'm not some super warrior who can fight a legion of knights by myself. Tyrion, relax. They said they're just investigating something. There are no riots going on here, and we're in the heart of the Duke of Commerce's territory. Do you seriously think Von Sanctus would let another Pillar family march onto his land and kill his people? He had a point, but this uneasiness wasn't going away. It'll be fine. Let's just find a place to stay the night and wait for all this to blow over. I walked to a nearby tavern and found it absolutely crowded with patrons. Everyone else had the same idea. Oi, hope to Agbin Tavern. What can I do for you? We had 2 rooms for the night. Sorry, fully booked with the blockade and all. Wait, let me take care of this. Les took out a large pouch of gold and draped it on the innkeeper's desk. Well, would you look at that? One of our rooms just opened up. Only one. The entire city's locked down. And with this gratuity, that's the best I can do for you. What? Embarrassed to share a room with me, Tyrion? No, I just... Briefly glanced at the innkeeper. He chuckled at my reaction. Fine, let's just go. Walked in the room they had prepared for us. There was one bed. And there was one bed.